Moko, what do you think? Because in the aftermath, there's been issues that have been raised with regards to the selection panel that was proposed. There are two cases with regards to the concerns about that. From your perspective, do you think the legal battle is justifiable? Because this is what many say is delaying the process. Is it justifiable, or is it a well-orchestrated plan to delay, the process for the individual people to just get their interests passed through IEBC?
Having established that it's not a legal problem, then we know it's a political problem.
It's not a legal problem.
It cannot be, because the legal framework is very solid. Even before Mr. Raila Odinga decided to go to the streets and complain about the selection committee and the entire composition, there was a piece of legislation that had been passed into law, and President Ruto merely assented to a piece of legislation which went through the National Assembly, where the three members sit. So they actually debated the piece of legislation and they passed it. Then you get the NADCO report, which came up with a set of beautiful ideas. Again, it was passed. The selection committee was, the members were doing press-ups, ready to go. But one of their own, who knows that he has no capacity nor competence and it does not fit within the legal framework, says, wait a minute, my rights have been violated. They go to court. And then as soon as the matter is settled, another one crawls from the woodwork, says, wait a minute, I've got objections. So there's a very high probability that these people will keep on coming with objections till the cow's home. And you remember what Kriegler told us about preparing for elections, on the need of IBC having systems, having predictable systems for unpredictable outcomes. So as Honorable Masara has indicated, that when IBC pronounces a winner, even when you have lost, you know that in fact you've lost, you go home. Fairly. So that you cannot start manipulating the populace. Because right now with the
how realistic is that, judging by our election history? Will it ever come to a day when actually the losers will go home and say, we lost fairly?
Yeah.
Will we ever have that?
Of course. One of the reasons why our elections in Kenya are probably the most expensive in the world is because everything has been cast into iron. The legal framework is very solid. At some stage, we'll even come up with a regulation on how the returning officers are supposed to be dressing, how they're supposed to be breathing, because of what Masara indicated as the trust deficit. The trust deficits are very low. I understand in other countries, in more mature democracies, the equivalent of IBC, it's volunteers. That an election is not a public holiday. People go work in the morning, they vote in the middle of the day. You don't have policemen all over guarding ballots, because of people know that what an election is all about. But in Kenya, it's very, it becomes a mess. And every 5 years, you tend to have tensions 1 year before an election and 1 year after an election. And coming from a business perspective, I interact with a lot of investors. What they find as a unique selling proposition in Kenya is our elections that we have every 5 years. They say that with all the challenges we have, at least we get a new set of leaders every 5 years through a democratic process. But now the challenge is that some of those who lose, who are well-known, because of their high capacity to convince Kenyans, they say, wait a minute, this election was not free, fair, nor credible. And this thing is not limited to Kenya. In the US election, Mr. Donald Trump had indicated that if he doesn't win, he will not accept the outcome. But as soon as he was declared the winner, he said probably this is the most peaceful election we've ever had. So, you have many global examples. But as somebody who works with investors in Kenya, the reason why they want to come to Kenya is because after having a peaceful election, then you are guaranteed of this political stability, economic stability, and security stability. Some of our neighbors have got something which appears that there is stability. But the pillars, the systems are very weak. And I recall at some stage you said that we need to give examples. I'll go back to this investor from Tanzania who wants to come to Kenya. You see, one investor is coming with 400 million USD. Amsons. You'll get another one coming with 200 million USD. If you had an IBC in place, the one which can do elections, it means that you inspire investor confidence, and Kenya Kwanza will be able to deliver on its mandate on wealth creation and job creation. there are some investors whose appetite for risk is a bit low. So now they're waiting in the wings saying, let's see how this IBC is going to be constituted. Yeah, so for me, I think if you want to invite and have all these investors coming to Kenya, let's have that IBC constituted as a matter of urgency. I don't know whether the members of the National Assembly can actually give maybe go do another amendment and say that you will not keep on frustrating this selection committee day in, day out, because right now there is that probability that right now we are told that we are about 52 million Kenyans. So there will be a Kenyan every day, even after the current matter is sorted out, another one will come out and another one will come out. So at the end of the day, we'll be staring at August 2027 with the commissioners who are wet behind their ears and they have no idea how to conduct an election.